G'day YouTube, how the heck are we doing? It is Foul Play here. We are back for the second match of this Pauper League. We lost the die roll versus Kenji. Mulligan to 6. Our opponent is keeping a 7-card hand. I actually think this is keepable. Call me crazy. Color me crazy. Go ahead and keep this. And I guess we just ditch the extra hexproof creature. Getting into proceedings. If we high roll a forest off the top on our first draw, that would be amazing. If not, we can like Lotus Petal out the Bogle, resolve an Ethereal Armor, and get cracking from there. Cave of Temptation. Well, not quite what we're looking for. Still, let's go ahead and cast our Bogle, Ethereal Armor, and past our opponent, playing straight into their Dawnbreaker Cleric, most likely. Yep, there it is. Alright, well, we look pretty shaky after that one. I think we have to go for it, otherwise we just like sit there doing nothing for the entire game. Abundant Growth here, no, we can't Abundant Growth there at all. Never mind, we can Abundant Growth on one of them though. Let's put it there. We might like sack this for the cave trigger later on, but for the meantime, we'll just try to develop our mana. I'm sure our opponent will have something to say about that. Alright, attacking in with Dawnbringer Cleric now. No blocks on my end. Any land off the top, we can resolve Armadillo Cloak, but then we'll need a little bit of help from the top of our library to continue from there. Well, I guess it's a Rancor from us. That's about the best thing that we could have against Dawnbringer Cleric, right? So attacking for 3, our opponent possibly has Ephemerate. Rancor is not a very good target for Ephemerate for obvious reasons. It's possible we should have played the Silhana Ledgewalker there actually, just for that more difficult to block creature. I'm sure they've got flyers in their deck, white decks normally do. Oh, we're versing soldiers, okay. It's terrifying. At the beginning of your end step, draw a card. Whenever a creature deals combat damage to you, its controller becomes the monarch. So we'd become like a 5/3, would attack, our opponent would fog out, and we'd trade with one of their creatures. That doesn't seem very good. Tap your sprawl. We'll sprawl on white, So Hana Ledgewalker, I guess our opponent will get an extra draw for an extra turn, and then we can look to start getting in with Silhana Ledgewalker, look to start stealing this Monarch from our opponent, and a Spirited Companion. So not soldiers, just a white deck. A Radiant Fountain, up to 19. We're going to be in it for the long haul this game. The good news is, in the sideboard, we do have access to Krufix's Insight, which is very good in matchups like this. Opponent attacking with both these guys. Look, I'm just going to trade off with the Dawnbringer Cleric. If they want to Ephemerate, they can go for it. They can interact with our mana, whatever. We actually get the straight trade. That's very bizarre. We get to reset our Rancor on the Ledgewalker, which is nice as well. Our opponent gets an extra card draw. That will be us next turn, though. Mana. Okay, well, that doesn't really do anything. Go like this, though. We'll go like this. And our opponent currently does not have access to any flying creatures. Prismatic Strands. Yep, they've got access to that one, though. All they have to do is tap a white creature they control to flash it back. How is this fair? 5 cards, play 0. Oh, what a joke. Anyway, Dawnbringer Cleric coming to ruin our day. Maybe it was a little bit of an oversight extending that Armadillo Cloak into 3 open mana. I'm a bit of a fool like that sometimes. Core Skyfisher, so now like Ledgewalker is pretty damn useless. Dawnbringer Cleric, probably after Utopia Sprawl. That's really annoying. Now we have to hit a land to sack our cave and get our token. Attacking for 3, at least we're healthy still. That's something. Mana, 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 come on, come on. It's not a mana, but it's a card. Alright, so we're guaranteed to get our card draw finally. Take that, opponent. Your deck's playing right into our hands all of a sudden. Core Skyfisher. I guess, yeah, flashback on Prismatic Strands. We don't get it just yet. But we're one step closer to getting it. That kills our creature, really? Yeah, of course it does. I'm being made to look the absolute fool this match. Okay. Spirited Companion. I guess at this point we're just too far behind. This Vigilance token's not going to cut it right. Can't possibly get there, can it? If our opponent bricks on Prismatic Strands out of the 5 cards in hand, possibly. I mean, just going to concede. I don't think this is going to cut it. Okay, here we can see a white deck our opponent has played in the past. We can see interaction in the sideboard in form of Standard Bearer, making us be quite upset. Disenchant as well, maybe Ray of Revelation, cards like this. In the main deck, we saw the Dawnbringer Cleric. It doesn't look like this deck runs Ephemerate, so that's at least some good news for us. Alright, so we're going to look to bring in Crucifix's Insight and Standard Bearer. I'm just going to take out our Lotus Petals. I'm running out of time on the clock here to think about it properly on other cards to minus, so we'll go for that. His hand looks extremely good. We'll keep. Only downside is no turn 1 creature, but our opponent can't blow up our mana base, which is nice. We have a Standard Bearer for if our opponent's going down that route as well. Unfortunately, I took out the gut shots from our sideboard, so if our opponent has Standard Bearer, you know, that's going to just be annoying, but here we go. All right, that's fine. It's a very strange game so far. I guess we just Armadillo Cloak, start attacking. If we put Ancestral Mask down, our creature will just be a plain 1/1. There's no other enchantments to give that +2/+2. Celestial Flare, sure, whatever. You got me. You got me, you got 1 enchantment. We've got a good reload next turn. This was not in our opponent's sideboard list, like in their entire 75 from a month ago. So, like, we've been got, but whatever. I'm not that fussed about it. We've got a Standard Bearer, which is a perfectly good creature to continue with. Opponent attacking with Core Skyfisher. We'll go ahead and take that damage down to 18. Radiant Fountain back into play. Another Core Skyfisher. Sure. Returning that Radiant Fountain. Bogle off the top. That's some good news. Opponent can have Sunlance, 3 damage to target non-white creature, so they can't really use Sunlance against us, fortunately. I think we just Bogle. I think we just Armadillo Cloak as well. Start attacking on the Standard Bearer. This Bogle can be a failsafe for a future turn. And going on a Standard Bearer can be a failsafe for if our opponent plays their own Flag Bearer creature. Alright, Thrabian Inspector from our opponent, Radiant Fountain. Attacking for 4. No blocks on our end. It's going to be interesting to see if our opponent has the Celestial Flare. As things stand, let's diversify a little bit on our creature. We'll Ancestral Mask. Why do I have to click this? What the hell's going on? Ancestral Mask on the Bogle. We'll put Trample on the Bogle as well. We'll attack with both creatures. This plays around Celestial Flare. I guess they can't have Celestial Flare anyway because they've only got 1 white mana up. Ephemerate on the Core Skyfisher. That seems okay to me. And opponent bounces their Clue token. That's very interesting. Double blocks. So we've been got. Kill the Skyfisher. Thrabian Inspector can survive. Standard Bearer just dies. That's kind of annoying, really. Maybe I should have thought about that line. I mean, again, we just saw their list from a month ago and there was no Ephemerate in it. So we've been got again by a different card, which they, for all intents and purposes, didn't have access to before. Alright, opponent draws a card off the Clue token, 6 in hand. Idyllic Grange. Enters the battlefield untapped. Okay, when it enters the battlefield untapped, put a 1/1 counter on target creature you control. Because it entered tap, because they don't control 3 or more planes, that does not happen. Alright, let's crew fixes insight, see what we find. We've already got the Sentinel's Eyes in hand. Well, we found an Ethereal Armor. I guess we'll play the Ethereal Armor. We haven't seen a Dawnbringer Cleric yet. It's a nice little attack for 10. Alright, and no blocks from our opponent. Alright, so Ephemerate off rebound on the Thrabian Inspector. Drawing a card on the clue token. We love to see that. So what we don't want to see is land into Dawnbringer Cleric. That would be annoying. It wouldn't be game ending though. Opponent concedes the match. Alright, well we get there in that case. Alright, so I completely forgot to bring in our Flaring Pains in face of our opponent's Prismatic Strands. Let's take out the Silhana Ledgewalkers for the Flaring Pains. We got the Standard Bearers in that creature slot anyway. And just on taking out the Lotus Petal, when I'm bringing in crew fixes insight, I do like to take out Lotus Petal because with Lotus Petal in the deck, there's less hits enchantment-wise, so I don't really like trimming on enchantments for that reason. Alright, we see another Cave of Temptation hand, and I mean, the auras, the creature, this all looks great, but we can't keep this hand. Alright, no landers, and we'll throw that one away, and I guess we have to keep this one. Ditch one creature. Ditch the Ethereal Armor. A little bit dicey. If we turn on the Scout, that plays really well into an opponent's Dawnbringer Cleric, and then we just lose hard on tempo. So I think we have to turn one Scout. Hope we hit a Forest in the top 2 cards. Alright, so our opponent attacks in with Thrabian Inspector, and it's possible they're holding up Celestial Flare here. If they don't utilize this white mana, that's very suspect to me. Of course, Skyfisher, never mind. They go after the clue token or the planes. Go after the clue token, so they want tempo, they want to drop all the cards from their hand onto the battlefield. That makes a lot of sense to me. So play this on white. I guess we just double aura and go for as much tempo play as possible. If we play Utopia Sprawl on green, we can like Abundant Growth Rancor and be pretty Dawnbringer proof. At this point, we're pretty vulnerable to Dawnbringer Cleric, but if we do it that way, they might like attack our mana, like Dawnbringer Ephemerate with shut off white mana. I don't really like that plan, and like stuck with a cartouche in hand that we can't do anything with. Alright, so they're attacking with these guys, no blocks on my end. Another Core Skyfisher, bouncing a planes. Alright, well this is quite attainable, this match. Thrabian Inspector, sure. No giant blowouts just yet. Abundant Growth. Hey look, Ancestral Mask. Oh my god. We are just being treated to a masterclass right now, aren't we? Not too shabby. In for 12 damage. Alright, Radiant Fountain from our opponent back up to 6. And, well, taking no prisoners, attacking with everything. This has to mean Prismatic Strands, right? Flaring Pain off the top would be absolutely clutch if that's their line. Well, that's not a Flaring Pain off the top. Attacking with Scout plays into Celestial Flare. I think we just have to do it. Just go ahead and do that. Prismatic Strands, sure. Unfortunately, we don't have access to Vigilance. We're going to be taking a bunch of damage on Crackback, so we're on like a virtual 6 at the moment. We need our opponent not to have another Prismatic Strands. Alright, so we can see a Thrabian Inspector from our opponent. Oh, they're drawing a card off the clue token, pardon me. I just had to run off for a moment there, so I missed that one. Attacking with everything. This means they've got another creature and they can flashback Prismatic Strands. We need to find Flaring Pain off the top this next turn. They've decided 5 is equal to 6? No, they've decided 6 is equal to 6. Okay. Attacking in, nothing we can do here. We just have to top deck well. Come on deck, let's do this. Dawnbringer Cleric on Ancestral Mask, I'm sure. They could go after the Abundant Growth. Goes after the Mask. Okay, what does that change? We can't kill our opponent anymore. That's what it changes. Cartouche, block, block, block. Unfortunately, they can just flash this back for free, and we're not going to have lethal on crackback, so I think we have to hold up blockers and go to 1. And our opponent is attacking in the air. I don't know how we win this. We'd need like a Cetessan Training into Flaring Pain, but we don't have Cetessan Training in the deck. Just in time. Let's see what we find. I swear to God, if the top card is Flaring Pain, I'm going to freak. All right, well, it's not Flaring Pain. We find these guys. It doesn't really change anything. We're just dead to Prismatic Strands, but let's roll the dice. Armadillo Cloak off the top. So like pretty much a turn too slow this match. Because what we would do is attack with everything to play around Celestial Flare, or attack with at least one warrior token, play around Celestial Flare. Pegasus Foal, Exile, yeah, okay. So goodbye Ethereal Armor as well. And then flashbacks over here, and they'll fog the green damage, and they get like a chump block there. Yes, we technically order that first, but Prismatic Strands does its thing. Warrior tokens, couple of damage off to the side. Yep, so opponent names green. All that damage was prevented, and unfortunately we lose the match. Well, that was a pretty close one. Like I said, sort of like a turn away from getting there, but well played to our opponent. Can be a bit of a scary matchup, and we bricked on our Flaring Pains, unfortunately. Oh, there it is on top. No, not like this. Still, we're dead in the air regardless of that. But close game, good games. Thank you for watching, guys. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to let me know in the comment section below. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Until next time, have a wonderful day, and I'll see you then.